What's up, everybody? Happy Friday Eve to you. Today is Thursday, October 31st, 2019. You know what time it is. It's time to reflect. So as I think about this week that I've had, and it's been a week of really reaching some milestones and getting over some hurdles and entering new seasons, and I'm so thankful for it. But I also thought about this as I bring this week to a close and get ready for a phenomenal weekend. I thought about it just as this week has been a week of seasons and looking at past seasons and getting ready to enter into new seasons. In this thing called life, oftentimes our body will go through seasons, and I remember when I was getting closer to 30, and it's only been a few years since, that all of a sudden certain things that worked for me before, certain things that I could do dairy and different things, they weren't working for me anymore. And I remember finally a couple of years ago the doctor told me that I have a gluten allergy. So, one of my least favorite things to do has always been to go grocery shopping. Why? Well, it's because there's just so many options, and God is still working on me with this thing called patience. And there'll be so many options, like why do they have to be so many different types of bread? And you got a type of meat, but there's so many different brands. Like, what is the problem here? So it was just overwhelming for me. But instead of being overwhelmed by that as I went shopping yesterday, I wasn't overwhelmed by all of the choices, because now I put myself in a place where I know how to relax. I know when to go shopping, where there's not going to be a lot of people. I don't have to feel rushed. But it was this, that now I have to find myself in the gluten-free aisle, that I have to go to an aisle where everything is gluten-free. If I want a hot dog, I have to have gluten-free buns. I have to have gluten-free cookies, and I have to do everything gluten-free. And here's the thing, it can be sometimes annoying. It can be or seem as though sometimes there are not as many options, but it's so worth it. And even as I was thinking about how certain things that will cause us a little more time, certain things that may be a little annoying, that maybe things won't go how we want to at all times, and we've got to stretch a little bit, we've got to bend a little bit, that the same thing goes for our lives and our relationships, that even those things that cause us to bend and stretch, they're actually really good for you. Just like I have to stretch, I have to go to specific stores now to get what I need as far as where I am right now, where my body is in this season, but it's good for me. And even in our relationships, sometimes we have to bend, we have to stretch a little bit, and everything may not go the way we want them to, but it's still good. And what does gluten have to do with relationships? This, because I thought about how sometimes it can cause us to stretch when we have to put boundaries even on what we will expect from others. The reason is because you were not meant to be dependent on other people. People are here to care for you, to enjoy your time, and to love you. They are not meant to carry you. I do believe that God created us, and one of the things that He created us to experience are relationships. The Bible says in Proverbs, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. The Bible says in Hebrews that don't neglect meeting together, fellowshipping together. And I believe that with this, within the context of being created to experience relationships, I don't want to be dull, and I don't want to be selfish, because in Hebrews, when it says don't neglect meeting together, it says to encourage one another. So I don't want to be selfish. I get together with people, I have relationships so that I can encourage them and they can encourage me, and I'm not going to be dull. As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. But just because we're sharpening one another, just because we're encouraging one another, that doesn't mean that we're supposed to carry one another. There's one person who's carried me my entire life. His name is Jesus Christ. As Paul said, standing in front of King Agrippa, the Lord has been my help, even this very day. So I want you to check yourself, and moving forward, check yourself and check your heart, check your intentions, check the status of your expectations for others. And if you are dependent on people, you're setting up your heart for a letdown, for a big breakdown, and you also may hurt other people along the way. So you might want to check yourself. But what do? You set up your life so that if someone leaves your life, they don't take a piece of your self-esteem with them. So, hope my little gluten story helped you as you get ready for this great weekend. Have a wonderful weekend. Bless somebody. Share this with them. And have a wonderful weekend. I love you. Peace.